Mortgage demand has fallen to its lowest level that we have seen in the last 22 years, according to this new article from CNBC. Let's take a dive into what they have to say and exactly what's happening out there in the housing market. They start off by saying that the average contract interest rate for the 30-year fixed loans, $647,000 or less, has increased to 5.4%. And applications for a mortgage to purchase a home fell 7% for the week and were 21% lower than they were 1 week ago. And refinance demand has dropped 6% for the week, down 75%. Guys, that is a huge decrease right now in refinancing to the likes that we haven't seen in a very long time. Now it says mortgage rates are back on the upswing after a brief decline in May, because they actually were down slightly for the past few weeks, and now they're starting to go back up again. Now pertaining to the refinances, it says that the vast majority of mortgage holders now have rates considerably lower than the current one, and even those who would like to pull cash out of their homes are choosing second mortgages rather than refinancing their first liens, which makes a lot of sense, right? If you are a homeowner and you have a very low rate, as we saw in one of my previous videos, that the majority of mortgage holders out there right now have rates that are below 5%. So why would you go and get a new mortgage on your home into these mid 5s and 6% range when you already have a lower rate? So taking a second mortgage probably makes a lot more sense. However, the reasoning for people taking second mortgages is a whole nother ball of wax, and we're not going to get into that in this video, but chances are a lot of times people that take out second mortgages are doing so because of financial troubles. Now it goes on to say that while rates were still lower than they were 4 weeks ago, they remained high enough to still suppress refinance activity. Only government refinances saw a slight increase last week. Applications for a mortgage to purchase a home fell 7% for the week and were 21% lower than they were the same week 1 year ago. The purchase market has suffered from persistently low housing inventory and the jump in mortgage rates over the past 2 months. These worsening affordability challenges have been particularly hard on prospective first-time buyers. And to top it all off, mortgage rates move even higher to start this week, according to a separate survey by Mortgage News Daily. Rates have been in a narrow range for several weeks after moving decidedly higher for the previous months. There's some chance that the upper boundaries of that range end up being a ceiling for rates, but that will depend on inflation and other incoming economic data. With a key inflation report set to release on Friday morning, the potential for volatility still remains high. So now we know that people are really starting to hold off on buying homes. This is now becoming a fact. This is not an opinion, guys. We know there's just less buyers out there due to affordability and these higher mortgage rates, okay? So that's the first thing. But I think right now the housing market can still appear to be very strong, mainly because we've still seen a lot of closed sales recently from buyers who were rushing to get into the market because they had those low locked-in rates. But now most of those buyers have either already bought or maybe they've been priced out and just can't find anything anymore. And now we're starting to get more to like the real market, basically, because we're seeing that buyer demand is dropping through the floor right now. And if things continue in this direction, then we could definitely see a slowdown in the housing market, and we already are seeing that. But basically, how this is going to affect things long term is that more and more inventory is going to build up, guys. If there's less people buying homes, then more inventory is going to build up. Now, of course, there's going to be sellers out there that are sort of trapped in their current home because they just can't afford to move up to a home, or they don't want to pay more for a home and they'd rather just stay in place. In fact, there was a whole nother article stating how baby boomers are deciding to stay in their homes instead of move. And this can have a huge impact on the housing market over the next couple of decades, because if baby boomers decide to age in place instead of sell their home and downsize into a smaller place or move into assisted living like they normally do, this can have a detrimental effect on our housing market, because if those people aren't selling, that's still going to suppress inventory. Now, obviously, if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I'm of the mindset that I do think prices are going to come down, especially if we hit a recession. Prices coming down by 20% is fantastic. That's a great reduction. But keep in mind, that's still 20% higher essentially than the prices were pre-pandemic, because in a lot of markets, we've seen almost 20% appreciation year over year for 2 years in a row. So, if the market goes down by 20%, overall, those homes are still 20% more expensive than they were in 2019. So, and if you combine that with these higher mortgage rates, property is still expensive, even though it will become cheaper compared to what it is today. But honestly, guys, I think that any buying opportunity is going to be better than no buying opportunity, like we've seen in the past 5 or 6 months or so. So any type of increase in inventory, any type of price reduction is probably very welcome right now by any buyers out there. And I would look at this as good news moving forward. Having this lower demand for mortgage applications is probably a good sign that things are going to turn around in your favor if you're a buyer out there. And I don't see anything wrong with waiting till the end of the year or even the beginning of next year and just wait it out a little bit longer, see what the housing market's going to do, and make your decision then. The odds of you having to pay significantly more by the end of the year or next year are pretty low at this point. We've never seen this type of record appreciation in homes over the years. We have seen in articles from Redfin and other housing agencies that even if homes continue to appreciate, they are not going to appreciate at the rates that they have been over the past 2 years. And one of the main issues we're facing in today's housing market is the availability of starter homes, which kind of plays into what we just talked about. And if you want to learn more about that, then check out this video I did right over here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.